Thin slicing, harness pony prep, shafts number 2. Thin slicing is the cutting of a big task into its smallest component parts. Then we teach each slice until we are both confident and relaxed with it. Then we move on to the next slice or mini skill. This is our 5th short session doing just this. This is the first time I've added distinct cues. Actual session time was about 10 minutes. A couple of short breaks are not shown. The first slice, relaxation while putting the shaft into the tug loop from behind the horse. So I've just picked up my shaft, I walk around to the back and slip it into the tug loop. And the second slice is relaxation when moving the shaft back and forth in the shaft tug. So you see, I'm just rubbing the shaft along the side of her body. She's going to have to get used to the feel of that when we draw the cart up behind her and slide the shaft in. So I don't want her to be worried about that. And when she stood quietly, I give her a click and a treat. So we're looking here for relaxation. And I always teach both sides at approximately the same time. So I go to the other side and just do the same procedure, making sure that she's not worried about the movement of the shaft along her ribs and beside her butt. And click in a treat, and notice that she's staying parked as I walk around. And same procedure again. Now I'm going to do the third slice, which is to shift the hindquarters away from pressure of the shaft. So I've put some pressure against there, and one step at a time is really good. That's all I'm after at this point. So after each step I'm pausing. I'm not clicking, but I'm pausing. So we did step, pause, step, and then click and treat. Go back and do the same side again. Slip it into the tug shaft. Now this time, the fourth slice, I'm adding a hand signal and a verbal cue to the movement. So you can see I've got a hand signal, and I'm putting pressure on the shaft at the same time, and I'm saying and side, and side, and side each time, and side. And then there was a click. So I think we had about 3 good steps, and I had a pause between each step so that she didn't just rush over all in one big movement. I want to control the single steps. Doing it again from the other side. This time she's anticipating and rushing. I haven't even got the shaft into the tug loop there. So she's just showing that she's not that confident on this side. So I go back to just holding it in place, putting it into the tug shaft, and rubbing it back and forth. So because she was concerned, I backed up a step. This side she seems to feel more defensive about. So go back to the side that she's more confident, put it into the tug loop, rub it back and forth, and ask with pressure, verbal cue, and hand signal for her to come over. And she's not nearly as worried about it on that side. Click and a treat. She's still standing nicely in between and doesn't worry about me going behind her. Into the tug shaft. A little bit of pressure on, verbal cue and hand signal. And she's coming over 1 step, 2 steps without worrying. Now, note the loss of confidence in the next little part. This is straight afterwards. She's gone right round, but she's not happy. She's shifting her feet, going back and forth, and I think eventually she has a little chew. She may or may not pick up, and then she's able to settle down. But it took those several seconds. There she's having a chew about the whole thing. And so I gave her a click and a treat when she stopped shuffling. She did all that shuffling, which indicates, and her tail swishing a bit there, indicates that she's not totally comfortable. So we don't want shuffling, we just want relaxed parking. The moment her confidence is lost, I go back to earlier mini skills and review them until we regain the confidence. So I want her to be happy with me behind her. See her tail swishing a little bit there? That tells that her mind is not settled. So I go back to just putting it into the tug shaft and rubbing it back and forth. Click and treat for that. Repeat that, go behind her, put it in the tug shaft, rub it back and forth a little bit. She's still relaxed, her tail's not going, her head's not up. Click and treat. That's what I want. Go behind her, put it into the tug shaft, rub it along her side a little bit, and then put in the cue, pressure, and I only want one step. Remember, she was rushing before, so I stopped immediately. I clicked on one step. And because she understands the click-treat dynamic, she knows that when I've clicked, she's done the right thing and she doesn't have to do anything else. She can stop for her treat. So go back to rubbing, and that time I didn't put pressure on because I don't want her to expect pressure every single time I go behind her and put it in the tug shaft. Slip it into the tug shaft, the shaft tug, rub it along her side, put a bit of pressure on, verbal cue and hand signal, 1 step, 2 steps, and 2 steps was plenty. Click and treat for that. And we finished there.